In this lesson, we'll look at how we get images into our HTML pages. In our previous work, we've been working on a file called hubble.htm. We'll continue working on that file in this chapter. In the Chapter 4 folder, find the file hubble.htm and open that in TextEdit. And also open that file in your web browser. We'll see the file that we've been building up to this point. I'm going to tile my windows side by side so I can see them. I'll also leave the project files folder on my desktop within our line of sight, because I'm going to go back out to the project files folder and look in Chapter 4. And in the images directory, you'll find a file called myastrohobby.gif. This is a little banner that's intended to go with this page which we're working on, which I'll open in Photoshop on my machine. You can open this in Preview on the Mac or Paint on the PC. I'll open this with Photoshop, just so I can see what this image looks like before I put it onto my page. And this is a very simple image. I'm going to close this file, and I'm going to quit Photoshop. Now that I have an idea of what this image looks like, I want to get this image into my page. When you're at the point of coding a page in HTML, and you want to get your images into the page, you need to create the image first, and then bring it into your page. Now you can be working on your HTML, realize that you need an image, and then go make the image and bring it in. But you need a file that's in GIF, JPEG, or PNG format to bring that image into your page. Since we already have this myastrohobby.gif file, let's go back over to our HTML page and scroll down and find our main content div, which, as we can see in our web browser, encompasses all of the content of our page and gives us our white background. I want to put our banner before this white space. So, in our HTML page, we'll find the beginning of this white space, which is our main content div, which we created in a previous lesson. And I'll add a few more lines after the opening body tag, so that I have some space before my main content div to work in. Now, if we look in the projects file folder again, in Chapter 4, what we want to do is we want to pay attention to the location of our image relative to the file that we're working in. What does that mean? Just looking at this directory structure. And this is what we're talking about when we talk about a directory structure. Where on our computer do our files exist? Here in the Chapter 4 folder, I have multiple HTML files. I also have another directory or folder on the Macintosh. And within that directory or folder, I have other files, such as the GIF we were just talking about and another image that we'll look at in a future lesson. Now, when hubble.htm is loaded by the web browser, we need to tell the web browser to look for our banner. But we also need to tell the web browser that when it's looking for our banner, it needs to look in the images directory and find this file, myastrohobby.gif. Let's just bear this in mind as we get started bringing this image into our page. So I'll put my Finder window, or Windows Explorer on the PC, over to the side, switch back over to my HTML file, tab over one time, and now I'm going to create the tag that will allow us to refer to this image. To bring an image into your HTML page, we're going to use the image tag, which reads IMG followed by a space and an SRC attribute. And I'm going to close this image tag. Image tags, like break tags and meta tags, are empty elements. Unlike the other tags we're working with, like H1, paragraph, ordered list, unordered list, image tags do not have an opening and closing tag. There is only a single tag to create our element, which is why we refer to them as empty elements. They have substance, but they don't surround something else. So I've created my image tag, but I haven't told it to refer to a specific image yet. So within this syntax, image src equals, I'll put the file path relative to the location of the file hubble.htm to the image that we want. If we look in Finder again, we can see hubble.htm exists in our folder structure or directory structure at the same level as images. So, I need to tell Hubble, go into the images directory and find the file myastrohobby.gif. So, over in our HTML file, starting from the same level as the hubble.htm file, we'll go into the images directory, and then I'll add a / to indicate that the name of the directory that we're going into is finished, and now I'll type the file name of the file that we want, which in this case is myastrohobby.gif. Notice that I still have my Finder window open over here. I'm doing that on purpose because as you start typing a file name, you're likely to forget what the name of the file name is. So I always want to check, let the machine do the hard work and tell you where things are. So just glance back over if you ever have any doubt where your files are. So I'm going to save my file now and switch over to my web browser, and if I hit the reload button, now that image is displayed at the top of my page.